Hi friends, today on Windows of the World, we are traveling to a destination that is very dear to me. Not only have I been there many times, but it is where I experienced the greatest adventure in all of my travels. Back in 2015, I climbed the Matterhorn. Yes, the real one, not the one at Disneyland. Waiting for us with the best view is my friend Daniel in the adorable town of Zermatt, Switzerland. View that you have.
What do you say about that, huh? We're really blessed to have this great scenery, and today great weather and warm temperature already.
Now, are you on your balcony? You have, I mean, it really looks like a postcard.
The view I have my home, and it's really great. We are sitting here on the balcony and enjoying the evening sun. And actually, I even would have it even better. I can see the Matterhorn from my bed, but I'm not going to show you my bed. I'm not even sure if I made it this morning.
So tell us a little bit about the situation in Zermatt. Are you still able to hike around? I mean, I'm sure nobody's climbing the Matterhorn at this point, but what's the situation like right now?
Well, you know, in Switzerland, we're affected like I would say anybody else on the world, and we had quite tough restrictions. Nevertheless, we always could go out. That's actually the positive thing. We never had like a lockdown and we were locked into our homes, and we could walk around and just avoid crowds. So yeah, the people here, they usually should work now in tourism business, because Zermatt usually is much more crowded, and we see people from all over the world. And I think that's for most of the people, even the elderly one, the first time in their life they have a Zermatt for their own.
Yes, and I can say from experience, I think I've been to Zermatt, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. It really is one of my favorite places in the world. Can you just tell us a little bit about, I mean, obviously your iconic landmark is the Matterhorn, but can you tell us a little bit more about what you recommend people do when they're visiting there?
Well, you know, that's exactly what you said. The people are really attracted by the mountains. The Zermatt people all over the centuries, they made a great tourism place out of this village. Zermatt has a great summer offer with hiking, and you can do mountain biking, growing sport or growing activity here in Switzerland. And of course, most people, or lots of people actually, are coming also to climb the mountains. Not only the Matterhorn who stands here by itself is surrounded by other high mountains. So mountaineering was born in our area, and people are since more than 150 years climbing the mountains around Zermatt, and especially also the Matterhorn. And in the wintertime, of course, Zermatt is a great ski destination. We have even an interconnected ski area with Italy. So that means just behind the Matterhorn, there is Italy.
Yes, and I can say I remember that view very clearly. One side, you see the village down below, and then the other side, you see beautiful Italy from the top of the Matterhorn.
Tell me, how comes that you know the view from the Matterhorn?
Well, I can say this experience is definitely one of my top travel experiences around the world.
Whew. Ashley,
we're officially at the top.
You did it, huh?
All right. Wow. Look at this.
It's been a while.
So you climbed the Matterhorn.
I did climb the Matterhorn, and I'm still alive.
Congratulations, Ashley. This is really tough. I mean, it's not something which is for everybody. This we have to underline clear.
Yes. So have you climbed the Matterhorn?
I climbed it 3 times, and
wow.
I'm actually not through. I have a lot of friends who want to climb with me. I never climb it by myself. I take always a mountain guide. So that's actually a very popular job here in Zermatt. Still, we have about 80 active mountain guides bringing people up to the Matterhorn. But as I said, it's very important that you prepare yourself well. You have a good physical conditions. You're not afraid of altitude. You equip yourself properly. And the best thing is always, to take the mountain guide. And look on the weather. The weather can change quick in the mountains, and but it's really worth to do it.
Yes, I remember very clearly my experience. So obviously to adjust to the altitude, I was coming from Croatia, so I actually came about a week prior just to climb some other nearby mountains, the Breithorn, the Riffelhorn. I also climbed with my guide. And then I will never forget that we woke up we climbed the day before to it's called the Hornli Hut, right? Or the Hornli Hut?
Hornli Hut, yes.
And then, and I was really the only girl there. So this was quite the experience because I thought, oh no, where are the other women? But I remember waking up at about 4 a.m. and starting the ascent. Because we were filming it, I've decided that it's such a mind game, the whole process, just because in my mind, I was thinking, what do I have to say for the show? Where's the cameraman? I mean, the night before we blocked out all the places of where we would have him be set up for me to come around the bend. But I really remember when I reached the top, I was like, okay, it would be really nice if a helicopter could come and get me right now and just take me down. Because you made it. It's like the achievement. You made it to the top.
We're officially at the top. All right. Woo! I'm gonna have a hug. Wow. Look at this. We made it to the top of Switzerland, and you know what? We're going to have to show people the pictures in Zermatt so that they know we really made it. Because this is really a feat to make it all the way up here. We still got a long ways down, but I have more energy now because I made it to the top, you know? Give me a little energy drink and some Swiss chocolate and I'll be good to go.
But for me, it was really hard to go down because it's on your knees. You know, it was, you know, you have so much adrenaline to make it to the top, but then going down, it's another, 4.5 hours or so just to the hut and then back down to Zermatt. So I definitely couldn't walk for a good week after climbing.
It's really right. I mean, on the top, you're only halfway. I never forget that the top is only halfway. You have to go back. I'm sure you have seen there are other easier ways to enjoy the Matterhorn. There are a lot of cable car going around, especially the Gornergrat train, for example, where you have a terrific view to the mountain and you see the glaciers in front of it, or also the Matterhorn Glacier Paradise, quite a high altitude cable car, bring you in a quite easier way than you did it. Obviously very professional to the top of the mountains, and that's also a thing which is Zermatt actually is famous for. That also people who are not really skilled, don't want to prepare for weeks and go then by themselves up to the mountains, they have the chance to enjoy the scenery as well.
Oh, that's the best. I mean, I have brought, all of my family has been there just because they really wanted to see the mountain for real, but we experienced it in all different ways, even just so many hiking trails around and being able to see the views, or even going up to the hut and then back down. I know that everybody, it's just so iconic to check the Matterhorn off of your bucket list to see. And for those who, of course, do want the thrill of checking that off, the climb, I mean, it's a memory I'll never forget. And obviously you feel, like I said, in all of my travels, it's really one of my fondest memories because it was a challenge, but I feel so great saying that I was able to conquer the Matterhorn.
I'm sure this is a story we'll tell your grandchildren. That's something which you have to do in your bucket list. That's
Definitely. Now, one of the other things and I've also been to Zermatt in the wintertime as well, but I just love the fact that there's no cars there. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that environment is like?
Yeah, this is a thing which really gives Zermatt a special character, the village which has no fuel-powered cars. We have transportation system of the gasoline, So this is a very typical thing about Zermatt also, that people here mainly walk the streets, and they can take a horse carriage. The whole world is speaking on also producing and driving electric cars. But never forget, Zermatt has this now more than 50 years. We have all this car system. So we were quite pioneers in this. And this really helped us also to maintain the village as a typical Swiss Alpine village.
And so since, a lot of people aren't driving there with their cars, I know that every time I've gone to Zermatt, I have come by train. And let's just highlight the Swiss train system a little bit. Nowhere have I seen a train system operate so well and so on time. We have to emphasize that. But this is what's so great about traveling through all of Switzerland, is being able to take the train. I even remember the day after I climbed the Matterhorn, I was flying home, and I sent my luggage by train the night before, just dropped it off, and I picked it up in Los Angeles. This was like the best thing ever. I didn't even have to take my bag with me. So this is something I also want to really highlight about Switzerland in general.
Definitely. Yes, you're so right. I mean, as a Swiss, you don't even realize these things anymore because they're so normal. But of course, also myself, I travel a lot, and then you see, there are so many beautiful places on the earth, and nature is so nice. But a thing which I miss usually first is a little bit the organization, and also to rely on a system. And therefore, I think the Swiss are really unbeatable. We're very proud of this thing we build up. Our ancestors actually built it up, and we're just carrying it on.
Yes, well, it truly is a special place, and I can't wait to get back to Europe to go there, because it's one of those places where obviously I feel like I have a real connection with it now because of the Matterhorn and that whole experience. But I feel Zermatt is a destination where you can always return.
So Ashley, I really look forward to welcome you back in Zermatt. And last climb is now 2 years ago, so I really need to practice again to be able to even follow you. But there are also nice soft adventure things around the village. And one thing I don't know if you have done it while you were here, but it's of course a very sophisticated way to experience the Matterhorn and the glaciers is also to take a helicopter ride. I think this is a thing when you come to Zermatt, you should afford yourself a little treatment and do this. It's actually quite not even so expensive, and it's really worth. This is another once of your lifetime experience you can do in our village.
Well, that is one thing I haven't done, so definitely I'll be back to experience that.
I really look forward that our borders will open soon, and we can welcome back lots of Americans here in Switzerland, and especially in Zermatt. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon.